Hey there, guys. Welcome back to a brand new Magical Mystical Flick Pick live show. This is it. Don't get scared now. By the way, check out the cool shirt. Link down below if you want to pick one up. And if you do, tweet me a picture so I can look at your beautiful face and I'll share that shit. As always, guys, you guys know how the live shows go. It's pretty much you guys dictate what we talk about. Whatever you want to talk about, that's what I'm going to talk about because that's what I like to do. So I hope everyone's doing well. And once again, just thanks for hanging out and joining me once again. I promised you I was going to do a few more of these before the end of the month, and here I am. Because why? It's not like I have anything better to do. So yeah, let's just dive into the questions, and we have one already ready to go. We have one from Edward Enigma. Do you watch AEW? If not, I would suggest to start doing so. Gonna overtake WWE soon. I don't... I keep up with it on like social media. I don't really watch it too much. It sort of reminds me of like WCW in a way. I have been to a live AEW show a couple years ago, and it was a fun time. I just not that into it as much as I used to be, unfortunately. But yeah. And by the way, guys, I do have a Jungle Cruise after the movie initial reaction / review video ready to go. I shot it last night. It's on my phone. I still have to transfer it to my PC to edit it. But so look out for that. I'll probably post it like tomorrow afternoon. And if you want my quick thoughts on Jungle Cruise, it's entertaining, but it's exactly what you think it's going to be. I'll leave it there. It's definitely no Pirates of the Caribbean, that's for sure. Though I will say it's probably better than Pirates of the Caribbean Part 3, 4, 5. They only made 5, right? I'll say it's better than those. The next one comes from Bakatir. Let's go. Well, thank you. Amaray M says, hope everyone's doing magical mystical. I hope everyone is as well. Hey guys, yeah. Who do you do the podcast with? I actually do the podcast with my pal Odin from OMB Reviews, who has a YouTube channel. So that's who I've been doing the podcast with for the last year, and we mesh very well for a podcast. It's a good God. All right. My phone's ringing. All right. The next one comes from Carter Lovejoy. Any new Blu-ray / 4K pickups? I recently got the 4K Steelbook as well as the new Paramount Presents Blu-ray for Almost Famous. Also, what's the last time you ever bought a DVD? Speaking of DVDs, I have a very good Flick Trip video coming. I already shot it probably last week when I was moving. And what happened was I was looking at 3 big cases of DVDs that I owned that I didn't watch, I didn't want, and didn't need, and something about them felt like they were weighing down on me. I could feel like the physical presence of them in the room, like all dusty and scratched up DVDs just haunting me. At night, I felt like they were going to crawl into my ear and start eating away at my brain tissue. But with all that said, I did, I'll just save it for the video, but look out for a Flick Trip video talking about all of those DVDs and what I did with them. I think you guys will enjoy it, so look out for that. And speaking of new 4K pickups, I do have a few, and I will share those now because I was going to do it later, but it now feels like the right time. So the first one, and by the way, these were all sent to me. The first one was sent to me by Warner Brothers. I call it Warner Bros. The new Mortal Kombat movie. Now, this is a movie I was really looking forward to seeing. I had been waiting for this movie since 1996, since I was a stupid little kid. And I learned how to do 4 fatalities, 2 of them being Scorpions and the other 2 being Sub-Zero's fatalities. And, but anyway, this movie was a big disappointment. It felt like, it felt like the first act of a movie dragged out to the featured length runtime of a movie. But really everything in this movie should have just happened in the first act. And then they should have had like a tournament. And then you would have felt like, oh, that was like a Mortal Kombat movie. It doesn't really feel like a Mortal Kombat movie when you watch this. Really unfortunate. So many mistakes made. I felt like I could have wrote a better script for this movie while sitting on the toilet. And I'm pretty sure that's where they wrote the script for this movie. So anyway, I'm sure it looks great on 4K though. I'm not in a rush to watch it anytime soon, but this exists on 4K. Okay. The next one is another sort of disappointing movie, and it's Spiral. Now, I like the cover to this. I really love the way that looks. It almost has like a pop art type look to it. And it's sort of lenticular. It's like a Pokemon trading card. Except you don't have Charizard, you have Chris Rock. So anyway, I was sort of looking forward to this movie as well. I was like, ooh, they're sort of rebooting the Saw franchise. It might have. I was expecting it to sort of be like Saw meets Get Out with that vibe, especially with Chris Rock behind it. And then what I got was a mess. It was more or less the same stuff you've already seen in every other Saw movie, but just diluted and less fun. I didn't mind Chris Rock. I just, everything else about this movie was pretty atrocious. So yeah, and I think the director has come out and said he wants to do more with this franchise. Please, no more. No, get somebody else to handle this. Another disappointment. I don't know what it is. It's just like, if you make a good script, you'll probably have a good movie. It baffles my brain how they just, like, millions and millions of dollars and years went into these two movies. And this is what you get. How? It's crazy to me. All right, the next one. Now, I saved the best for last. The next one is A Quiet Place 2, the Steelbook from Paramount. I think the movie's better than the Steelbook because it's not bad looking. It's cool. It's a little simplistic, but I don't know. It doesn't really do much for me, the look of this. You know, I wish there was a little more going on. But with all that said, I really enjoyed A Quiet Place 2. I think the first one is the superior film. I just think there's more iconic sequences. I like John Krasinski, who has a much bigger role in the previous movie. And plus, I liked sort of the mystery of the first film. You don't really see the creatures until like the third act of the movie. But not to say this isn't a good sequel. I think if you like the first Quiet Place, you'll definitely like the second one. Just for me, it was lacking something, especially in like the third act. And also, this is a movie that at times you really do have to turn your brain off because you're like, why did you? So the premise of the movie is they're picking. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but the premise is they pick up some radio station saying where to come for safety, and it just feels like any logical person in this current situation would be like, yeah, that's the place we should be going for safety. It's like in any zombie apocalypse, it's like, why do people live in malls or cities around millions of zombies? It's like, oh, you know that island that's like 10 miles that way off the coast that you can just get to in a canoe? Like the island where no one's going to get to, like monsters or zombies. Like we could just live there happily ever after. Like, let's just go to that island. Like, why do you need a radio message telling you to go there? Like, I don't know. It's crazy to me. So anyway, but I did enjoy the movie. All right, let's dive further into the questions here. And now I'm way behind, but that's okay. The next one comes from good pal Lone Tiger. How's it going, buddy? What up, John? Guess who's back? Even though I'm working, I'm working on a presentation for work tomorrow. Laugh aloud, miss you, man. Let's get a burrito together. Yeah, as long as we go to Salsa Grill and get a burrito there, I will never go to Chipotle again. Just bad for you. It just feels like it's sitting inside your stomach for 6 years before it never mind. But yeah, man, good luck on that presentation. The next one comes from Raymond Watt. I love Back to the Future, but the new timeline, George hires Biff to work for him. You hired the man who assaulted your wife. Yeah, George was sort of a cuck, wasn't he? Did I just say that? Yes, I did. Yeah, it's baffling to me. It's just like the things that Biff Tannen does in that film that they just overlook would never be done in another movie, especially in like 2021. There's no way he would get away with half the stuff he does. But either way, I think Biff Tannen's a great bully, though, because bullies are not good people. But yeah, George McFly, it's like, what are you doing, man? Like, why did you hire that guy? Like, the only thing you should hire him to do is like clean toilet seats with his mouth. That's what I would hire him to do. That would be degrading enough, but also representative of what he did in the past to get like vengeance. So yeah, unless he's really good at detailing a car, because then again, if he can get the stains out of those seats, I don't know, we can overlook some things. It feels like this is already off to a really weird start, but I'm looking forward to diving further into these questions. The next one comes from Matt Gray. Thanks for the awesome 80s training montage intro music, and check your Instagram DMs, and thanks for the live. No problem. I will check those a little bit later, man. Yeah, I love 80s like music. There's something so energetic and positive and upbeat about it. You just can't go wrong with it. So it gets me pumped up, but I hope it gets you guys pumped up for the live shows. Skateboarding versus movies. What's your type when it comes to girlfriends? You know, I wish I had an exact type. It always changes. It seems like year to year it changes. I wish I knew. There's just something, you know, I don't have one. As long as like personality's good and there's like something there and some chemistry in the vibe and they can take a joke, I don't know. That's usually what I look for. The next one. Or Jennifer Aniston. We'll go with that. The next one comes from Jeremy Cattle. John, I've missed you. Well, I missed you too. What are your thoughts on the Exorcist trilogy coming from Universal and Blumhouse? Yeah, I haven't really I've heard about it. I hope they're good because there's a lot to live up to. Now, as far as the other Exorcist films, I've always enjoyed the first movie. I don't find it that rewatchable by any means, but it's definitely a must-watch for any person who's a fan of the horror genre. I've seen bits and pieces, I believe, of the third Exorcist film. I think the second one's just an abomination, but the third one sort of has a cult following. And I've never watched all of it. I have a good pal, Matt, who loves the movie and has recommended it many times, but I have not fully watched it. So when it comes to the new Exorcist trilogy that I believe they're in production, I don't know much about it, but cool. I hope it's good. But I would say for modern day exorcism films, I think the last like great one I saw was like maybe The Conjuring. I think that was like the last really enjoyable one. Yeah, I'd go with that. Like The Conjuring from 2013, not the new one. The new one was just bad. The next one comes from Alex Carr. What are your thoughts on the movie Pain and Gain? I have a review for Pain and Gain, so go check it out. Hey, I gotta get a pump. I watched it recently, and to me, it didn't really feel like a Michael Bay movie, but I liked the performances from The Rock and Mark Wahlberg, but the movie itself was wild. Yeah, I thought it was just an overly contrasted movie with really bad sophomoric humor from Michael Bay. I think in the right hands by another set of directors or director, it could have been a much better movie. Now, I like the story itself is intriguing. Especially for if you're into like bodybuilding or weightlifting, like that vibe and the environment. I loved everything about that. I could just watch movies about guys who go to the gym all day. Like, give me a comedy movie about that. I don't care what they do. They don't have to like kidnap someone. Just give me that movie. But as far as like Pain and Gain goes, and I've been saying this for a while, I would say if like the Coen brothers directed a movie like that, I think it'd be a much better movie. So, like something like Fargo, like it's sort of like a dark comedy, but it's also serious with like a crime drama thing. That's what Pain and Gain should have been. And by the way, earlier, Matt, thank you for the super chat. That was very generous, man. But I will check my DMs on the Instagram thing. I will check it right after it. So thanks, Matt. Halloum. Is it Halloum? Halloum. I'm going to say Halloum. I just watched Nightcrawler, and I'm not sure what to think about the ending. What are your thoughts? Well, besides the fact Nightcrawler is my favorite movie ever made in existence, if you could go into my brain, if you could literally shrink down into the size of a mini Ant-Man, crawl into my brain, and somehow get all those creative juices to make a great film or write a great script, somehow I feel like it would culminate into something very similar to Nightcrawler. It's just like a perfect concoction of so many things I love. But with all that said, I won't spoil the ending to Nightcrawler if you haven't seen it, though it did come out in 2014. I love the ending. And I love endings where the ends justify the means. It's like, yeah, it worked. He did what it took, and he did it. You might disagree with his methods. I sort of agree with him. I'm like, I get it, man. Like, now that sounds a bit extreme, but I'm just saying that's why I like the movie so much. Sometimes I like when the bad guy can win. All right, the next one comes from Lone Tiger. Here are my latest movies from my Instagram video at Lone Tiger Films. I think you gave yourself a plug there, but I have no problem doing that. Lone Tiger Films on Instagram. All right, Rambo Collection, E.T., Finding Dory, First Man, Spartacus, Speed, Steelbook, Harry Potter Collection, Fast and Furious Collection, and Tenet, which I need to watch with captions on. Yeah, you could watch Tenet with captions on, or you just could not, or just not watch the movie. I'm going to go with the route of not watching it again. But with all that said, I did just watch Batman Begins the other night. That movie always takes me to my happy place. Like when I watch Batman Begins and he's like training to be a ninja for the League of Shadows, it makes me want to go to the gym and do more push-ups than I've ever done in my life. And I will never sacrifice my footing for a kill stroke. I promise you that, Ra's al Ghul. But yeah, some good pickups, man. I Speed on 4K. I do want to get that. Or no, I already own it. Do I own it? I think I do. I'm sorry. I'm losing my mind. Upshot Music TV, better dialogue, Tarantino or Coen Bros. Also, favorite scene from each director. That's a tough one. That is, oh gosh. See, when I think of the Coen Brothers, I think some of the best dialogue they ever wrote was for Big Lebowski. Because every little nuance that Jeff Bridges says, the ums, the ahs, the what have yous, the ins, the outs, it's a bit complicated. Hey man, there's a beverage here. Those were all written into the script. So that to me is like phenomenal script writing and dialogue. But if I had to pick one, I would probably go with Tarantino. And yeah, I just think Tarantino has made more films I love compared to the Coens. That's all subjective, personal preference kind of stuff. But, when it comes to Tarantino, I think some of his best dialogue for me might have been in Django Unchained with Calvin Candy. I just think some of that dialogue is brilliant stuff. But also, I would say the Samuel L. Jackson performance in Pulp Fiction as well was some great stuff. Just every line that he gives I love listening to it. May I have a drink of your tasty beverage? Just things like that. So I'm gonna lean towards Tarantino on that. Now, my favorite scene from each movie. Oh man, it's not my favorite scene. It's always the one that sort of stuck with me since I was a kid. But when I saw Pulp Fiction the first time on HBO when I was a kid back in 1995, probably, I just remember the pawn shop scene in Pulp Fiction with the gimp down in the basement. That always stuck with me for some weird, sick, disgusting reason. And as far as the Coen brothers scene, I love in The Big Lebowski any scene with John Goodman as Walt. Any scene with him. He's high strung, but he's highly comedic. I'd probably go with any scene with Walt, especially this scene where he takes out the gun and says over the line. I love that. All right, the next one comes from just JDD24. Hey, John, recently watched Stronger, enjoyed the film and Gyllenhaal's performance. Did you ever have the urge to rewatch it? I never had the urge to rewatch it. There's a lot of films I really enjoyed watching for the first time and just never had the urge to go back and revisit it. One of those, oddly enough, is like The Joker, starring Joaquin Phoenix. I have not had the urge to rewatch that movie since seeing it. It's like anytime I get the urge to rewatch it, I just put in Taxi Driver. Like, I don't know. So... a fun story about Stronger is I actually saw Stronger at the premiere in Zurich, Switzerland, and I met Jake Gyllenhaal that same day. And when I went to see the movie at the premiere, Jake Gyllenhaal sat behind me to watch the movie. He wasn't right. He was like maybe like 2 or 3 rows behind me. But either way, I could smell him. No. And then 10 minutes into the movie, he got up and left. But either way, that was really cool. The next one comes from Gus Babington. I'm glad you're back in a comfortable place. Well, thank you for that. Hopefully, Mega Replay is still in business. Also, I hope you're doing well mentally and emotionally. Well, thanks, man. I'm doing well mentally, emotionally, and physically. I started hitting the gym like every other day a few weeks ago. I'm feeling good, feeling lean, feeling strong. My pecs are a little bit sore right now, but hey, it's good to be sore. That's whoever said that. I don't know. And as far as Mega Replay goes, yeah, if you guys don't know what Mega Replay is, it's a huge used DVD video game store down the street in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And speaking of that, and I mentioned it earlier in the live show, but I do have a Flick Trip going there, so look out for that Flick Trip video. I'm trying to, maybe I'll put it up like Monday. I'll put it up like Monday or something. Hagulera 1723. Hey John, What are your thoughts on Drive Angry with Nick Cage? I saw Drive Angry once. I thought it was okay. It's sort of forgettable because I don't really remember much about it. Wasn't Amber Heard in that, right? Amber Heard was in Drive Angry. I don't remember much about it. It's hard to keep up with Nick Cage films nowadays. I mean, I love the guy. He does 14 movies every month. I do want to see the movie Pig, but it's not playing in any theaters nearby, which is unfortunate, but I do want to watch it. Joshua Garrison, favorite Tarantino film? Probably Django Unchained. I would say that's the most rewatchable for me because I love how there's just the Western adventure aspect. And actually earlier, I always forget it. It's one of my favorite Tarantino movies and I always forget to mention it. The Hateful Eight. Someone asked me earlier about the best dialogue in Tarantino films. The Hateful Eight has the best dialogue of any Tarantino film. There, I completely stand by that. That is my pick. That to me is just a screenplay that's perfect, brought to life. You know, I love movies that take place in one location. So Hateful Eight, though, is another one of my favorite Tarantino movies. But then right behind that's like Pulp Fiction and then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And the weird thing about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is it's one of those movies I enjoy more and more every time I watch it. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, I really enjoyed that. And then I watched it again and again. I was like, God, I love this movie. I just love that dynamic with Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt just being two dudes hanging out. I relate to that. King Chaos. Hey, John, I love your content. Well, thanks, man. What is your most anticipated movie this year? Mine is Dune. The visuals and scale look like they will be amazing. I have high hopes for Dune. Now, when it comes to the previous movie, I think it's bad, just completely bad. It just misses the mark on everything, like the acting, the visuals, the tone, just the heart and the vibe of it. It's like, I think they made the original Dune movie to capitalize on what Star Wars was doing, but it's no Star Wars, which is why no one talks about the 1980s Dune. But with the new movie, with a great director I always mispronounce his name, Denis Villeneuve, but yeah, it's in good hands. I don't think you could put Dune in more capable hands than the director that's behind it right now. You know, with Sicario and movies like Arrival and Blade Runner 2049. So I do have high hopes for it. I hope it looks really gloomy and sort of depressing. But that's okay. You know, I need the thing that we get very little of in Hollywood nowadays is like a thinking man's sci-fi film. That's what we don't have enough of. I always felt like that genre needed more movies in it because it's like a great genre, and I just want to get immersed. So you and me both. We both have high expectations for Dune. I hope it pays off. Beyond Comics 2099. Hey, bro, would you like a shootout new comic out now? Would I like a shootout or a shout out? Shout out or shootout? I'll take either. What are we doing? But yes. Yeah, give me Oh, you want a shout out? I'm stupid. Okay, Beyond Comics 2099. Check out his YouTube channel or Instagram or whatever he has. Just Google it. I'm sure you'll find it. Good luck with your comics, man. The next one comes from Doshi. Have you asked Chris Stuckman to cameo in his movie? No, I'm gonna let him. You don't do that. You know, it's a legitimate film. Hire real actors. Don't hire your friends. The next one comes from Pablo KBS. Hey, John, have you seen the new Suicide Squad? It's at 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. What the F? Yeah, I have high hopes for it. I do. I have not seen it yet. I'm probably going to see it Tuesday, maybe Wednesday next week. I just saw Jungle Cruise last night. I was up until 3 o'clock watching that. But yeah, hopefully I see Suicide Squad early next week. It'll probably be the first legitimate sit-down review I do in the new Flick Cave. So look out for that. George Ray, hey John, thoughts on Stuckman making a feature and new direction of his channel? Yeah, I think it's awesome that he's doing what he wants to do. I always knew, from the discussions I've had with Chris in the past, I always kind of felt like the YouTube thing was like a stepping stone into directing movies or working in the film industry. And I always, that was his goal. So it makes sense. He's just sort of doing it. As far as the new direction, I understand where he's coming from. He doesn't want to review Smurfs Part 8. I get it, because I don't either. And that's just where I've been for the last couple of years. That's why I don't review lots of movies. There's just... Sometimes rather than be enthusiastic about movies, it just becomes an obligation, and that's not good. So anyway, yeah, I think it's a good direction. I mean, if that's where his heart's at, that's what you should do. So the next one comes from Lone Tiger once again. Do you believe that culture and religion should be represented accurately in entertainment? I ask because my personal religion and culture has been affected from false narratives, but it's getting better, so I have hope. I wouldn't base anything in your personal life on what somebody writes on a piece of paper and films for the sake of entertainment. Those should be two separate entities. Though sometimes art imitates life and life imitates art. But I don't think you should ever be affected by something that was made for the sake of entertainment. That's all it is. So, sometimes I think things are represented accurately and sometimes definitely not, but that's Hollywood. Jeremy Cattle, Nightcrawler should get a 4K release. I don't get why it hasn't been released yet. Dude, I don't know. I think the director actually, Dan Gilroy actually doesn't have a Twitter. I don't know. Because if he did, I'd tweet him like, hey man, give me this on 4K. My eyeballs need it. The name of the movie is Nightcrawler. That's how it should be said, and that's how it should be read. And it should be watched on 4K. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many movies that have not hit 4K yet that baffle my brain. And then you have other movies that are on 4K, and I'm like, why did you take the time to make this? Like, 3 people bought it. Why did you even put it on an optical disc? I don't know. But yeah, so many movies that need to hit 4K, and I'm sure it will eventually. But I wish it happened now, because that's it's such a good looking movie. All right, the next one comes from Daniel Coolio. I'm gonna call you Coolio. Coolio. I'm gonna call you Coolio, Daniel. Hey John, how's it going? Have you played Red Dead Redemption 2? I've not played Red Dead Redemption. I've seen a lot of gameplay videos, but never played it. The only thing I play is Call of Duty Warzone, and then I play it for like 20 minutes, and then I run into a building at like in the final circle of the game, and there's someone laying on their belly in the corner, and they shoot me in the ankles, and then I scream, I punch myself in the head, and then I turn off my my PC. But continuing on with the question. The beginning reminds me of The Hateful Eight. Would you review modern games, Xbox, PS5, plots, and cinematography, and voice acting? No, I'm not that into gaming, to be honest with you, so to dedicate time to review games, nah. But talking about like older games, like retro games like Zombies Ate My Neighbors, or maybe like doing a review of something like that, that intrigues me, because that sort of defines who I am as a person in a way, and I just like talking about nostalgic things, so I think when it comes to games or reviews of games, that would be the extent of anything I would ever do. The next one comes from KJ is it Zana or Zana? Or KJX Anna? It could be all of the above. But thank you for the super chat, man. Very generous. Have you heard that Peter Jackson is making a documentary about the final years of the Beatles' career? It'll be called The Beatles Get Back, and it's set to premiere on Disney Plus this Thanksgiving. That's cool. Yeah, I like the Beatles. I've never been a diehard fan of their music, but I get it. But yeah, I've always thought the story of them essentially being like the first boy band was always really interesting. So the fact Peter Jackson's directing the documentary, okay, sounds good. I dig it. Beloved Ruby, who's a YouTube member, says, "What's up?" Not much. What's up with you? All right. Okay, next question. Guy from Kings Highway. I just bailed on another social event. Rather than talk about the weather and other BS, I'd rather have a swim, a joint, than go see Green Knight. Well, that sounds like a phenomenal evening. I hope you enjoy all three. Whenever you go to a social outing and someone either asks about how many siblings you have or the weather, that's when you just close your eyes, you walk backwards and then you turn around and run away. But yeah, I do want to see Green Knight. I could have seen it tonight, but I actually didn't feel that good earlier today. And then I was like, you know what? I'd rather just live stream with you guys and see. I'm probably going to see Green Knight. Maybe I'll see it tomorrow or the next day. But I am definitely going to check it out. So let me know how you liked it. Oh, hi, Mark. I agree with your opinion on Pain and Gain with the Coens and how they could have done it. Bay ruined the movie and made it a comedy, but it's a dark, true story. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it being a comedy. I love dark comedy, and comedy is mixed with drama. I think it's great. But Bay his level of comedy is like comedy for like a 9-year-old boy. It's like a dog humping someone's leg. Like Michael Bay finds that hilarious. So that was the detriment to Pain and Gain. And plus, like, the color contrast in Pain and Gain, it hurts your eyes to look at sometimes. You're like, this is such an ugly looking movie. Like, he just shoots everything like a music video from 1995. Guy from Kings Highway, I spent $15 on you tonight. The couch looks comfortable. Can I crash? I may have a warrant out for me in a couple states, but I'm very tidy. I'll keep you in the garage or the attic. I'll keep you safe. Don't worry. I'm no snitch. Yeah, that couch is very comfy. Crazy thing is, I actually had a couple brand new theater chairs that were like super awesome, but I'd rather have the couch. Because you can't lay like parallel on theater chairs. Like they're fun, but like I need the couch, man. That's my good luck couch. But it is comfy. I do have a theater chair right here that I have yet to completely install. But yeah, it is a very comfy couch. I could sleep on it for years. Skateboarding versus movies. Margot Robbie or Jennifer Aniston, probably Margot Robbie from like Wolf of Wall Street, but Jennifer Aniston from anything. So anyway, also my bro and I were inspired to create a YouTube channel because of you. It's called Evil Broomstick. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Yeah, so check out Evil Broomstick, everyone. What do you guys talk about? Landon, what's your gym routine right now? Right now, it's just typical. You know, I go on days and I do shoulders, arms, I do lats. Like I'll do chest and triceps or back and biceps. I've done legs twice. I hate doing legs. So boring. But you know, typical, the same routine I've always sort of had. And then there's some days where I just do a mix of everything when I get a little bit bored. You know, I've always worked out for the pump. You know, and also like if you have a split routine where you have like one day I do chest and the next day I do back. Well, my motto has always been, well, if my chest isn't sore like the day after I work out doing chest, like clearly it needs more. So I'll do a little bit of that and then I'll mix it into whatever else I'm doing. I just work out like I do supersets of everything. So I keep going. I work out for a pump. I listen to music. I've never had a dedicated routine. I find that highly boring, and you know, you got to confuse your body. You have to shock it, scare it, confuse it, you know, take 800 milligrams of caffeine before you go to the gym, whatever it takes. Lone Tiger, watching your videos and listening to you is both a blessing and a curse. Well, thank you. I get great movie and junk food ideas, but worry about my physical health. If I eat all the food you make me excited for, laugh my ass off. What do I talk about that's so bad when it comes to eating food? You know what I eat probably 6 days out of the week? I eat burritos. And when you look at what's really in a burrito, you got veggies, you got protein, you got some carbs, you got some fiber. It's good for you. I mean, don't just eat Sour Patch Kids every day, though I do eat a handful here and there. But yeah, man, I really don't. You know, one thing I don't eat a lot of anymore is pizza. Yeah. The next one comes from Halloum. Just recently saw Donnie Darko and enjoyed it. People seem sort of divided on this movie. What are your thoughts? I like Donnie Darko. There's definitely a cult following for it. It made me look at Patrick Swayze differently after that movie. Ugh. But I like it. I like how dark it is. It's just weird and bizarre. It's definitely not one of those movies I rewatch often. But I did enjoy it the few times I have seen it. But like I said, it's not a movie I go back and revisit that often. If I'm in a Jake Gyllenhaal mood and I want something dark, I just watch Nightcrawler. Love it, you, Duber. I think I said that name right. But either way, thank you, love it, you, Duber. Can you just call me Love It? I will call you Love It. What are your thoughts on the new Chucky TV series trailer and Halloween Kills trailer? If you haven't seen them, could we get a live reaction? I have not seen the Chucky TV series trailer. But I guess I could watch it, right? As far as the new Halloween Kills trailer, it looks like Michael Myers is in an action movie. Like, in the opening, he just kills 87 firefighters, and you're like, they were just doing their job, Michael Myers. Yeah, my hopes for the new Halloween Kills movie is they're like down here because the previous one was not that good. But I'm hoping it redeems itself and Michael Myers actually feels like Michael Myers again and there's not like a wannabe Dr. Loomis in the movie. All right, let's watch this Chucky trailer. Oh, it's on the Sci-Fi Channel? Okay. I find it interesting that this exists. It just makes me wonder how do you really make a series out of Chucky? Like, I get if it's like 3 or 4 episodes, like a mini series, but to really drag it out, I don't know. I don't know. Chucky's one of those things, in my opinion, that just works better in like a 90-minute movie. It's like a little possessed doll. He comes alive. He kills people. Okay. Like, what is the... Unless Chucky, we see a different side of Chucky this time around. Like, a little bit more humanity to him. Rather than, like, just wanting to kill people, Chucky and the kid actually hang out and have conversations. You know, Chucky wants to be his friend. He doesn't just want to kill this kid. He wants to, like, be friends with this kid. That's what I want. I'm just scrolling through the trailer, though, sort of looking at it. I'd like to hang out with a little Chucky. Like, if I had a little Chucky, I'd hang out with it. It'd be like the new Tiny Todd, except less evil. All right, let's go to the next one here. McLovin22930. It's been a long ride. I was 19 when I subbed you. Now I'm 28. If you could pick any upcoming movie to watch, but have it be but have to be hammered, what would you be picking? Ooh, that's a good question. See, I want to see the new James Bond flick. That's the one like I most want to see before the end of the year. But if I had to get drunk and watch a movie, I think watching Top Gun in IMAX, high on like edibles, would be a truly phenomenal experience. I'll just go with that. How's that? Just imagine those like fighter pilot scenes in IMAX, and you're just like, where am I right now? That's probably what I would want to do. Adam H. Hey, John, what's your favorite David Lynch movie? I'm not a big David Lynch fan, so I won't even pick a favorite David Lynch movie because it would be disingenuous. I know people love the guy. I think he's talented. I don't have a movie of his like I truly love. Like I'm gonna watch this David Lynch movie tonight. I just would never say it. I think he's talented, but just his movies just I don't know why they just don't resonate with me. I'm sorry if that was a letdown of an answer. Actually, hang on. I always feel like there's a movie I always forget. There's always a movie he directed that I sort of liked. I have a question for you guys. If you had to pick one, I know these are 2 random movies, but they sort of have a similar name. Would you rather watch Blue Valentine or Blue Velvet? I know, just answer me that question in the comments. All right. Yeah, Mulholland Drive. Everyone like recommended watching that, and then I watched it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's the ending, huh? Okay." So Blue Velvet, okay. I have not seen Blue Velvet, so I will watch it. I've heard that's one of his better movies. So, in all fairness, I have not seen it yet. Just JDD24. Favorite movie that has a slow pace? Huh. Maybe The Godfather Part 2. I mean, that's as slow as I could think of a movie with a pace. I can't think of a much slower paced movie that's as good. Yeah, give me another example of a very slow paced movie, but a good slow paced movie. I know there's hundreds of them. I'm digging in my brain right now trying to search for one. No, I have not seen Eraserhead. All right, tell me a few slow paced movies. We'll talk about those. Like super slow paced, but good. Not pretentious, but good. I don't consider Seven slow paced. All right. The next one comes from somebody on here. Hang on. Oh, Age of the Keyboard Warrior. If you already talked about this, sorry for the repetition. Widow did bad at theaters. Did you think other Marvel movies will suffer as well? Yeah, basically, every movie coming out at the box office right now dies off instantly after opening weekend. And I just think that says something about the people who want to go to the movie theater. They go those first few days. And the stragglers, those people that used to go see movies, but they don't really care. Like, they'll go to the movie theater when there's nothing better to do. Those people are a little bit more picky nowadays with everything going on. So they're just like, oh, I'll watch it when it comes to streaming. So I think that's what's happening. The hardcore demographic of theater goers will always go to the theater, but it lasts for 2 days. And those casual viewers of movies or theater goers aren't so much like getting out of the house to go anymore. And plus, when it comes to like Black Widow or any Disney movie, the fact that you can watch it at home, or if you're like a person who doesn't want to pay $30, you can watch a 4K high resolution torrent of the movie that's available at your fingertips now. So like, where's the incentive to go to the theater? I think if it wasn't on Disney Plus, I think those box office numbers would be higher. But then again, if Disney's getting $30 a pop on Disney Plus the ticket sales, maybe they don't care. So, but yeah, I think things with the box office will get better as things completely go back to normal. Hopefully, I've heard rumors and speculation that we're going to go back into another lockdown, but who knows? Once Upon a Time is awful. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I love that movie. Oh, another slow paced movie, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I really enjoyed that. Like, I love spaghetti western movies. So probably I'd say that's another really good slow paced movie. Prisoners is kind of slow paced. Yeah, I would agree with. I sort of agree with that. No Country for Old Men. That's a damn good pick. I would completely agree with that. That's probably, that could be in my top 100 movies of all time. Someone also said Con Air. I agree. There's nothing more slow paced and dramatic with a better screenplay than Con Air. I agree. All right, the next one comes from King Chaos. Thoughts on Ghostbusters Afterlife and the trailer. I have not seen the new trailer, nor do I plan on watching it. I sort of have this weird mindset nowadays. Unless I have to watch the trailer, I don't do it for a movie. I'd rather just go see the movie. Unless it's unavoidable. As far as the Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer, I mean, I saw the initial trailers. I did not see the brand new one. I get what it's going for. I got the vibe. I'm interested in seeing the movie. I mean, as long as anything's better than what they attempted to do back in 2016 with that Abomination Against Humanity, which was a garbage movie at best. But either way, yeah, I do want to check it out. I did not see the new trailer, though. Brevin's Flicks and Games. How's it going, Brevin? In August, I plan to review Spider-Man movies since I'm losing patience waiting for the damn trailer for No Way Home. Overall thoughts on those? Yeah, the new Spider-Man flick in the trailer, I'm excited to see it as well. I think Sony's holding off because I don't think they actually know when they want to put the movie out. Because with everything, like we just talked about, with the box office sort of having underwhelming returns, and Sony having this potentially multi-billion-dollar movie, the new Spider-Man movie, which sounds like it's going to be the multiverse of Spider-Man, which is going to be like nerdgasms times 20. why waste that during a time when your returns won't be as good as they can be? So initially I've heard things like it's going to come out like later this year and then it's going to come out early next year. So I think Sony's just holding off until they know for a fact people are returning to the theater. So I think that's why they're holding off on a trailer. They don't want to get you too hyped too quickly because I don't think they're quite sure when they actually want to release the movie. That would be my theory on it. But good luck with those Spider-Man reviews, man. You can't... the next one, Carter Lovejoy. How's it going, man? Okay, I can't read. Do you think Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield will appear in No Way Home? Yes, I do. I feel like they won't, but fans are going to be pissed that their fan theories of them appearing won't be true once it's out. I definitely think they're in the movie. I think both of them are in the film. To what extent, I have no clue, but I definitely think they're in the movie. Like I said, this could potentially be the best Spider-Man. This is like the Avengers Endgame of Spider-Man movies. This I'm excited to see. I hope it does live up to the hype. Bearded Zoo Guy. That's a great name, Bearded Zoo Guy. The Dark Knight, not only the best superhero movie ever made, one of the best films ever made, it's more than just Heath Ledger's performance. Agree? I think Heath Ledger's performance is what carries that movie. If I'm being honest, I think that was like the backbone of that movie that gave it so many memorable scenes. But The Dark Knight is like a crime drama that just happens to have Batman in it. And that is like the biggest praise I can give the movie. It felt like more than just a Batman movie. It felt like a true immersive experience. And you watch it and you're like, you see this character like Batman and the Joker, but it's so well done that they just don't come across like comic book characters in a movie. Like it just feels like a real place where they just so happen to be at. So I can't disagree with you. Upshot Music TV. We all have great movies we haven't seen. Those are some that we haven't. Boogie Nights, Eyes Wide Shut, Donnie Darko, Falling Down. How would you rank these? Oh, I thought you were going to say you haven't seen those movies, and I was going to be like, stop watching me right now. Go watch those. So I've had to rank those. Eyes Wide Shut would probably be my least favorite. When it comes to Kubrick films, I didn't love Eyes Wide Shut. Take it off. So if I had to pick, I would probably say Boogie Nights is my favorite. I love that. I think it's Mark Wahlberg's best movie he's ever done. Well, Jack, I've been thinking a lot about my name lately, and every time I close my eyes, I see these bright, shiny pink neon lettuce. So anyway, I would say Boogie Nights is my favorite. Then I would go Falling Down with Michael Douglas because I love movies about just guys who lose their shit and go crazy, and I can relate to that movie. Then I would say Donnie Darko, then Eyes Wide Shut. Haloom says, what webcam do you have? This is not a webcam. This is actually my legitimate camera I use to shoot videos. It's actually a Sony a6400. I hook it up to a 4K cam link, and then I plug it into my computer and I run it through a whole bunch of software. So that's how I shoot these. So it's not a webcam. It's a legitimate. There's like a huge lens on this camera to make it look nice, sexy, and glossy. So I have the nice blurry background. So that's what I'm using right now. Derek 1999. Have you read the new Once Upon a Time in Hollywood book? I have not. I heard that they added a few things to it. I'm not sure the differences. Let me know a few of the bullet points that are different though. Someone said do a Mark Wahlberg as a Joker impression. Hey, Batman, what are you doing over there? You want to see a pencil trick or something? That's all I got. Hey, you want to know how I got these scars? I got them from your mother. Okay, that's all I got. No more, please, no more. All right, the next one comes from Winners at the Prom Queen, and that's a fact. Did you hear that Harrison Ford was originally cast as Red in Shawshank Redemption? How good would Shawshank would have been. Also, can you say the classic Harrison Ford lines in Morgan Freeman voice, such as "Get off my plane" and "Don't kill my wife"? Nah, don't kill my wife. Get off my plane. That's all I have. Yeah, I think I remember reading, and also they wanted Tom Cruise to play Andy Dufresne. That was the original casting choice. So, sometimes you look at things like, also they wanted Kevin Costner to play Forrest Gump. They also wanted John Travolta to play Forrest Gump. So there's so many weird things in Hollywood that could have been, maybe should have been, but typically, like, that's one of those things where, thank God Morgan Freeman played Red. Thank the heavens above, we got the beautiful, gorgeous Morgan Freeman in that role, because it would not have been the same movie without him. He brought that heart to that movie. I love me some Harrison Ford, but Harrison Ford is no Morgan Freeman. That's all I have to say about that. All right, the next one comes from Alex Carr. A very good, slow-paced movie, in my opinion, is Foxcatcher, with Steve Carell and Channing Tatum. It's a very slow, burning movie, but extremely well done. Yeah, Foxcatcher to me was like a one-time watch, and at times I was like, ugh, I didn't love the movie. Like, the story itself was interesting, but the movie, it's just one of those movies I just don't ever want to watch again. And that's all I have to say about that. A-Train 98. John, did you hear about Bob Odenkirk's heart attack? Was it confirmed that he had a heart attack? I know he collapsed on the set while shooting the new season of Better Call Saul, which, yeah, that's no good. I hope he's okay. And I mean, it sounds selfish, I guess, to say, but I want to see the new season. So, yeah, I hope he's okay. Or maybe he just had like a heat stroke or something, because he is shooting it in New Mexico. It does get 120 degrees there. So, yeah, hopefully everything's okay with that. Winners at the Prom Queen. Sorry about you and Amber, but how is Puzzy doing? I hope Puzzy's doing well. That's the thing I miss most, is the dog. The girlfriend can go. The dog is what I miss. The next question comes from JC Zindel. Suicide Squad has a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. Excited? Yeah, someone mentioned that earlier. I am excited. I'm hyped. I hope it's good. The fact that James Gunn is directing it gives me a lot of hope. And I think also people are going to compare it to the original Suicide Squad. So it's going to... People are going to compare it to like a pile of garbage, right? And when you compare something to a pile of garbage, your hype level after you watch it goes up that much more. So maybe it's like that's a factor in into the reviews. It's like, oh, it's so much better than that pile of shit. But like in maybe a year, like it goes down a little bit more because we come to our senses. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I do want to. So I hope it's good. Dam5271. Johnny, how are you? Well, Dam, thank you for the generous super chat. I am good. How are you doing? I'm doing good, man. I'm still setting up the Flit Cave. Let me tell you something. The little details take so long to figure out. I'll give you an example. I have smart bulbs. These are like smart bulbs in that lamp right there. I have 2 of those. They change colors. You can do all kinds of crazy things. To actually make those work took a day. I actually had to have my friend, who's an IT guy, come over and make them work for me because they just wouldn't. I don't know if I'm inept, but either way. Yeah, I'm setting up the Flit Cave and just talking to you guys. I can't complain. But thank you for the question. Just JDD24. Favorite appearance by a director in their own movie, not a starring role. I like Jon Favreau as Happy and Kevin Smith as Silent Bob. I think Kevin Smith as Silent Bob is one of the better ones. It's definitely not M. Night Shyamalan in his own movies. The worst part of the movie Old, and I wish I would have talked about this in my reaction video to it, was watching M. Night Shyamalan in the movie. I'm like, I get that it's your movie, man. I do, but like, can you just not? Can you just not do this? Please? I'm trying to think of another director that stars in there. Tarantino. One detriment to Tarantino movies is Tarantino likes to put himself in his own movies. And when he put himself in Django Unchained with his really bad Australian, it's like me doing an Australian accent. It's just no good. When he did that in Django Unchained, I was like, it took me right out of it. I was like, oh, don't. Okay, the next... Did my mouse just die? Please don't. Yep, it just died. Let me tell you guys something. Don't ever buy a Razer mouse. They're the biggest pile of shit you'll ever buy. Razer, if you're watching this, your mouses suck ass. Terrible Razers. Don't ever buy the Razer Ballistic mouse. Piece of shit. Battery dies every week. Piece of junk. Now I have to change the battery on this mouse. Just a junk mouse. Terrible. I don't know why the battery dies in it every week. Piece of shit. Okay, let's go to the next question. Don't ever buy a Razer mouse. Just shit. Complete shit. If you take anything away from this live stream, never buy a Razer mouse. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say about that. Let's go to the next one. ADSD. I'm sorry, ADS. I'm still mad about the mouse. ADSD vids and stop motion. What are some of your anticipated movies that don't have a release date? Mine is Del Toro's Pinocchio and Mad God. Also, where's Amber? She's gone. I don't know. Who cares? So as far as movie release dates go, I don't know anything about Mad God. And I heard about Del Toro's Pinocchio, but I don't know much about it. I hope it's creepy. As far as like anticipated movies without release dates, I would say the new Spider-Man movie would be one. That's probably my most anticipated, like coming out next year or whenever it's coming out. There's also a few movies coming out next year, but I can never remember them. And the weird thing that I've done lately is I just take movies by like on a weekly basis because like with release dates changing every other week, I put no stock or faith into them anymore. So like my brain just doesn't care about the foreseeable future. Like if it's happening next week, I'm going to get excited about it. If it's happening in 6 months, I don't trust it. John, get a Logitech mouse. I should have got a Logitech mouse. I think I'm going to make a little rant about this mouse later. I'm going to tweet Razer and tell them what a big piece of shit this piece of junk is. They should be ashamed of themselves. This thing has taken years off my life. You know how many batteries I put into this? You know how much money and batteries I've wasted? I almost want to throw it against the wall right now, but I kind of need it. All right. The next one comes from Chris R. Hey, John. Which is better, having an arm wrestling match for the custody of your child, like an Over the Top, or having a ladder match for custody of your child, like Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero at SummerSlam? That was a good match. Except, was that on an episode of Raw? I remember Vicky Guerrero was supposed to run down to the ring, but she missed her cue. Either way, that was a good match. I remember watching that on pay-per-view, actually. I would still say arm wrestling for custody of your child. I mean, why? I don't understand all these divorces and custody battles. It's like, why? We're going to court, spending all the money on lawyers and wasting time. Just have an arm wrestling competition for custody of your child. It's as simple as that. There's nothing more pure. Winner takes all, loser takes the fall. I want to go watch Over the Top right now. Winners at the Prom Queen. What is the best movie in 2021 so far? I don't know. I liked Old, but I didn't love it. I don't think I'd put it in my top 10. I'm hoping Suicide Squad's good. I was mildly entertained by Jungle Cruise. What else has come out? I'm hoping the new James Bond movie is good. I'm hoping like Dune is good. I'm trying to think what else came out this year. Like my mind is a blank when it comes to like movies that have recently. Oh, I'm hoping Green Knight's good. It certainly was not Snake Eyes. Space Jam was garbage. So, yeah, I don't think I have a favorite movie thus far this year. Or nothing like I mean, I'd say A Quiet Place 2 was one of the better movies I saw this year. It definitely was not this. It certainly was not this. So I would say Quiet Place 2 is overall my favorite movie. But I don't love it. I really enjoyed it. But I don't know if I have a favorite one so far. Anyone here old enough to remember Razer flip phones? Or is it just me? I used to have a Razer flip phone back in 2006. I remember that. That was the coolest thing ever. All right, the next one comes from Winners of the Prom Queen. What is the best? I already answered that. Okay, the next one comes from, and by the way, guys, I'm about 12 minutes behind on the question, so I'm doing my best to catch up, so no worries. Fidel Reyes, or can I call you Fidel? I think Sony is holding off on the Spider-Man trailer to coincide with Venom 2's marketing push. They could gain nothing releasing it at the moment. Absolutely, yeah. Why overshadow your next big movie with a better movie until that movie comes out? The smartest thing they could ever do with Venom 2 is attach the new Spider-Man trailer to that movie. That would entice people to go see Venom, also to see the trailer. So that's maybe what they're going to do. But also, I don't feel like they have dedicated an exact release date to the new Spider-Man movie. Like, because it's like an uncertainty to some degree. So, we'll see. Rich the Savior. John, I couldn't sleep last night, so I was binging your streams. Can't tell you how much I've missed your weekly streams. You make me laugh, even when I'm having the worst day ever. No question, just love. Well, thank you for that, Rich the Savior. Thank you for that, man. That means a lot, man. Thanks. Even if I don't make you laugh, I certainly will never make you cry. So that's my guarantee to you. Thanks, man. Thank you for that. Yeah, I love doing the streams. It was just for the couple weeks there, I was moving and I didn't have because to do the streams, I have a lot of shit to set up to do them. I have software and a camera and lights and all kinds of stuff that have to be in place to do these. And plus I need like good internet speeds to do these because I'm streaming in 1080p. So, as much as you guys like watching them, I assure you, I really enjoy making them. So yeah, the weekly streams, like I want to at least do 2 of these a week. Like, there's no reason we can't do 2 of these a week, right? I mean, there's some people that stream on Twitch 8 hours a day. So, could you imagine if I just started doing 8-hour live streams every day? Like, some of them, I would just get up and, like, disappear for an hour, or you guys could watch me. What if I just started streaming myself, sitting back there on the couch, watching movies? How would you guys feel about that? All right, the next one comes from Joshua Garrison. Mark Wahlberg, Anakin Skywalker impersonation. You know, Padme, I've been thinking a lot about this sand stuff. It's so coarse and rough, and it gets everywhere. Can we stop? Can you stop making me do this? The next one comes from Carter Lovejoy. Did you get anything from the Criterion sale? I did not. I didn't even know they were having a sale. I did not. My goal, my dream, my desires is for Criterion to start releasing 4K releases. Then that would entice me. I just can't go out of my way to buy a 1080p Blu-ray. I'm sorry, like Criterion, they don't have anything on 4K, right? Am I mistaken? If they started that, I would be all about it. Watchtower Studios. What's your normal and max price for 4Ks? I typically do my best to request them from studios so I can get them for free. But typically my max, if it's a brand new movie and I love it and I want to watch it day one, I'll just go buy whatever it costs at the store, which is around $20, $22. But if it's a movie like a catalog title I can live without, I'll probably wait till like a Black Friday sale and try to find it for like $10. You know, $10 is like a good price to me. Like I want Parasite. And I'd probably, I'd buy Parasite on 4K. I own the Blu-ray, but I'd rather have the 4K. And so, yeah, I'd buy that for like $10. Hopefully by like next Black Friday, it costs like $7 or something. Claudia Rogajan. You think Clerks 3 will be disappointing? You know, Clerks is one of those movies that just connect with me. It really resonates with me more than a lot of other movies. I'd probably be, like, if I had to pick movies that I truly relate to, the Clerks movies are like in my top 10. But with that said, I hope it's good. I feel like Kevin Smith of late has been a little self-indulgent in his movies, especially like the Jay and Silent Bob reboot movie. And he's making the movie he wants to make. That's cool. You know, who am I to judge that? But that was a big letdown for me. So when it comes to Clerks, the new Clerks movie, I just hope it's good. I really do. I do. I'm excited for it. It could be great or it could be terrible at this point. I don't know. But I do have hope. JC Zindel. How was the pizza last Q&A? Ready to win another? You know what? Thank you for so JC gave me a donation to go buy a pizza on the last live show. And I didn't buy a pizza. I did go to Salsa Grill the next day and buy a burrito. It was delicious, and I got extra jalapenos on it. And I enjoyed every bite, and I thought about you with every bite. So thank you, sir. Night King 01, Dune looks epic. What do you think of it? We talked about this earlier. I think it looks great. I don't think you could ask for a better director if you're directing like a smart man's thinking sci-fi flick. Sad they didn't film the sequel back to back. If it doesn't make money, the sequel is screwed. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I think they didn't do that, because Dune is not really a franchise that, like, every time they do that, they shoot themselves in the foot. There's been so many movies made in the sci-fi genre, like John Carter of Mars. Like, that was supposed to be the next big, like, Pirates of the Caribbean franchise in space. And look how that turned out. So I think financially they made the right move not to film the sequels back to back. But hey, if it does well, I'm sure they will. At Derek 1999, would you like to see Quentin Tarantino make a series about Reservoir Dogs? I could watch a series about Reservoir Dogs. That sounds, if you had to pick one of his movies to make a series about, I think that would be a good one. Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to see Quentin Tarantino direct a sci-fi film. That's what I would like to see Quentin Tarantino do. Lone Tiger. I have the Logitech MX Vertical. It's an ergonomic mouse that feels so natural. Takes a day or so to get used to. I never went back after switching to the ergonomic mouse. My arm and wrist thank me every day. Well, my arm and wrist thank me every day, but for other reasons. So, like, my thing with this mouse is, you see this little ledge right here? I need a mouse with that ledge, because what happens is I rest my thumb on that ledge, and I like it. I need that little thumb on a ledge. The next one comes from Sean Rosen. John, I speak for all of us. I say we're gonna need a Morgan Freeman impression and 1.21 gigawatts exclamation. By the way, hope you're doing well. You want me, Morgan? What do you want, Morgan Freeman? You want Morgan Freeman to say Doc Brown lines now? Marty, it's your kids. I don't know. That's all I have. Bruce Cook. John, would directors in their own movie as cameos that was started with Alfred Hitchcock? I think M. Night is trying to copy the master of suspense. Oh yeah, by far. I think he's even said, maybe I'm making this up, that Hitchcock was a big influence. And you can tell by M. Night's directing style in his movies, he's definitely taking some inspiration from Alfred Hitchcock, and I get that. And there's nothing wrong with a director putting themselves in their own movie for a very small scene. But when you actually become a character in your movie for more than like 12 seconds of screen time, not a big fan of that. Unless you're a good actor. Like if Ben Affleck directed The Town and starred in The Town. But he played that part well and directed the movie well. So that made sense. Fidel Reyes. For me, Pig is the best movie of 2021 so far. Yeah, I want to see it. I do want to see it, man. I just don't have time to drive an hour away right now to see it. But I am going to definitely check it out. Nicolas Cage and a pig, man. I couldn't ask for more in a movie. Haguilera, 1723. Best young Magneto moment from any X-Men film with Michael Fassbender. Magneto moment? You spelled Magneto very, very differently. Anyway, I would say best Magneto moment. I think Fassbender was the best character, the best representation of Magneto you could ask for. There's so many great moments with him. Anything that truly relates to his past was always great. I loved X-Men First Class, where he's just getting vengeance on everyone who was like an ex-Nazi. I loved that. I'm like, ooh, yeah. And the thing about Magneto is, he is not the villain to me by any means. He's like the guy like I believe in those movies. I'm like, he's the guy who's doing the right thing. So anyway, I would say I'd say X-Men First Class, I think, gave you some of the best Magneto moments. But I really did enjoy, like, Apocalypse was terrible overall. But I did enjoy the scene with him being very angry when they accidentally killed his daughter, and then he kills all of those soldiers in the woods. I enjoyed that as well. But yeah, Magneto is by far the best thing about the new X-Men movies. Lone Tiger. Did you watch Nobody? I did see Nobody. Besides, it was okay, but I didn't like it as much as I wanted to. Besides Justice League and Soul, it was one of the best films in the pandemic for me, even though technically some of the films were probably better. Yeah, Nobody was okay. It just felt like a concoction of like 3 other movies, but all of those other movies were better than that movie. I just didn't like how it sort of just was like, here's some bad Russian mafia guys. And I like Bob Odenkirk. I just thought they could have actually went a little bit more over the top with it. I did like Christopher Lloyd, though, as the old dad in the movie. Like, just give me a movie about him. Rich the Savior. John, I need workout motivation. How do you keep up with the motivation to stick with a schedule? Would cocaine help? Probably. Or should I stick to snorting pre-workout like you? Stick to the pre-workout. It's less illegal, but also effective and probably less addictive. So yeah, man, the motivation, you know, I took almost 2 years off from working out. I lost the motivation. I did. My life source was more drained than the battery in my Razer mouse over here. So, you know, sometimes you just need a break. Like when I worked out, I did it every day for 6 years. And then like once I got to the mountaintop, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm good. So now I'm sort of getting back into it. And the thing is, working out just gives me that one place to be every day. I know I'm going to be there. It gets me out of the house. You feel so good. You get the endorphins kicking in your brain. You feel energetic. You know, you're having fun. You're working out. You're making progress. It's just good all around, you know. So just start going. You know, tell yourself you're going to go Monday and Thursday. Start small, but just make sure you go. And eventually you're going to start loving it. And it's going to become a routine, and you just got to find really good music. Either find good music to listen to or a good podcast. And only listen to those things when you go to the gym. Then you're going to savor that flavor and look forward to it. There you go. Or you can listen to my podcast exclusively on Patreon or for YouTube members, which, by the way, we just put up a brand new episode yesterday or the day before. So that's an hour and a half of gloriness you'll rather enjoy. All right, let's go to the next one. Damn5271. Hey, John. You should make a short video about your Razer mouse and how you end up destroying it. Kind of like the old shark video in your backyard and your recreation of Fast and Furious. It always flatters me when people remember that shit. Here's the thing about the Razer mouse. This piece of shit made by Razer, which is a piece of shit. Don't you ever buy this. The thing about this mouse is I could probably just buy another one from Best Buy and then return this one. I don't know. But I don't feel like that's enough. I feel like they need to learn their lesson. So I don't know if I would just destroy it because this was like $60. So I'll come up with something. I'm going to contact customer support and we'll see how they handle the situation. All right. The next one comes from Just JDD24. Favorite song that plays at the end of a movie? I would go with the song that plays at the end of Jason Bourne films. Oh, like that techno. What is that? Who is that plays? I know the song. I can hear it in my head. It's like a very 2000s song or late 90s. But anyway, I like the song that plays at the end of Breakfast Club when John Bender puts his hand up in the air, walking away. But then again, I enjoy the Zimmer scores that play at the end of the Dark Knight movies. Also the Danny Elfman score for the Batman, especially in Batman, the first Batman movie, or maybe Batman Returns or whatever, is when the camera always pans up to the skyline and you see Batman, or in the second movie you see Catwoman, and the music swells up to that. That gets me hyped up ever since I was a kid. I'm trying to think of another movie that has maybe like... it's another movie that has a great ending score that starts playing. I'm just gonna go with those. Rich the Savior says, send them a strongly worded email, John. I'm going to send them a strongly worded tweet. Seems like when you tweet companies, they actually do something about it. John, you give the best advice. I try. I just give you the shit that works for me. What's the next one here? Halloum. With Family Video closing all of their stores, which they already did, do you have any other rental places near you? I miss Flick trips to Family Video. So sad COVID killed them too. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I have a long lost video. I don't know where the file is. It might have been on an SD card somewhere hidden away. I need to find it maybe. But yeah, I had a video showcasing Family Video when they were closing down, and that's where I bought my Sour Patch Kids guy. They used to be a display for the candy. But yeah, man, it's sad. I liked that Family Video existed. It made me feel good and happy inside. It's just like something about having one video rental store you can go to. You pass by it. It warms your heart inside. You know what I mean? And when it's gone forever, and it hits home, and it hurts. It hurts deep. It cut me deeply and affected me. But no, I'm glad I made those Family Video Flick trips, because now, like, I can go back and see Family Video. I can go back there and, like, relive it. But yeah, as far as, like, video rental stores, I can't think of any. But I do have Mega Replay where you can go buy movies. So, I mean, that's, I guess, the next best thing, but it's not the same thing. Jake Voronkov? What is it? Voronkov. What is the worst movie you own? Where do I even begin with that, Jake? I don't know. Batman and Robin on 4K. I own The Fanatic, but I don't qualify that as the worst movie. I think that movie does everything it should. It makes me laugh. G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. I own that on Blu-ray, I think. Or do I own that on 4K? I don't remember. Do I own that on 4K? I don't know. Right now, I'd say the worst movie, I don't know. The worst movie on my desk right now is probably this. Matthew says, you always say you don't have time and that you're busy. You're not super active on YouTube. What else do you do? Do you have a side hustle? I do a lot of things that I won't tell you about. I have an OnlyFans. I'm just kidding. One day. Just life. I do a lot of other things. I do investing. I'm not very good at it, but I do it. I do a lot of other projects. A lot of things like you guys don't see on YouTube. Let me tell you an example. There's like 3 sponsorships I've been working on, and I've had 10 phone calls. I have read through 800 pages of PDF agreements and contracts just to like say yes to certain things. Like just agreeing to one sponsorship deal was like a 1 week thing. I don't ask how it took that long, but it did. And then in the meantime, I've been going to the gym. I've been moving. I've been unpacking. And then you guys, for example, you might see a reaction video. Okay, cool. But then I go see the movie. Like I drive to the theater. I watch the 3-hour movie. Then I shoot the reaction video, or I might upload it, or I transfer it to my computer. I edit the video or whatever. Just little dumb things add up. I mean, most people work a normal 8-hour job, and I can assure you, like, I spend 8 hours a day doing something related to movies or YouTube. Even though you don't see it, I'm doing something. So, and now I'm here now talking to you. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where time goes. I really don't. I wish I knew. Insert alias here. Can you talk about the car wash semi-sensationally? Yes, the car wash. It's a nice cleansing experience. You walk in dirty and you leave feeling clean. If that doesn't do it for you, I don't know what does. Yeah, I haven't been to the car wash in a few weeks. I do need to go because I have bird shit on my car right now, and it's bothering me. JC Zindel. What year was Batman and Robin released for lunch? 1997, right? I don't get your question. Oh, yes. 1997. Batman and Robin, 1997. Yes. Yeah. So what do I get for lunch? I want a burrito. Yeaman John. Thoughts on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. A lot of people hate the movie now. saying it's overlong and self-indulgent, no narrative plot, and the portrayals of Bruce Lee and Shannon Tate. There might be something there. I'm not saying that's exactly how Bruce Lee acted. I never met the guy, but at the same time, it's for the sake of entertainment. I don't think the movie's self-indulgent. I mean, I can definitely name other self-indulgent films. I can name any Michael Bay movie and say that's self-indulgent. But I liked Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And as far as like, sometimes a movie doesn't need a strong narrative. It really doesn't. Because I've always been a fan of like movies about dudes just hanging out, doing things. And that's fine. And the payoff of the movie, but by the end of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, if you're not fulfilled by the payoff of the movie, then I don't know what else to say to you. I feel like the payoff was worth it. I don't know. There's something sometimes when a movie has like such a strong narrative, it's like when you have to get from point A to point B and everything along the way is just dedication to doing that. Sometimes, I don't know. I like sometimes a movie just like having fun along the way. Not always. Sometimes I can go very wrong, but movies like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, just give me those fun conversations. That's what I want. Claudia Roguejohn. What happened to Michael Fassbender's career? He was everywhere like 5 years ago and then just disappeared. I think he said he was delusioned a bit. He was delusioned? Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. I'm sure he could get an acting role any day of the week that he wants. Sometimes actors do that. Like, we were talking about somebody else a few live shows ago. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He was in every movie for like 3 years. And then he just disappeared, right? And like Sam Worthington, he was in like every movie after Avatar, and then people realized that he couldn't act, so now he's just going to be in Avatar movies. So yeah, it's always interesting. Okay, next one. Max Nugenbauer. I've always enjoyed the Bond film. Okay. I've always enjoyed the Bond film A View to Kill. What are your thoughts on it? I think it's Stuckman's least favorite Bond film. Yeah, A View to Kill. That's the one with the Paris, the Eiffel Tower, right? Yeah, I vaguely remember that movie. It didn't feel like a real Bond movie. It felt like a very subdued Bond movie, sort of boring. But I have not seen that. There's some Bond films I might have seen once or like bits and pieces of. I will say the best Bond film before GoldenEye for me was License to Kill. But A View to Kill, I vaguely remember that movie. Christopher Walken is the villain in A View to Kill. You know, James Bond, your mother, just gorgeous, once told me. Yeah, he was the villain. I forgot about that. Ermin Yabber. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your new pad, John. Loving the first reaction reviews. Keep up the wicked content, dude. Well, thanks, Ermin. Hope you're doing well too, man. Yeah, still unpacking. Lone Tiger says, do you own your place now in Fort Wayne? Your room looks awesome and comfortable for movies. I used to own this. I don't own it anymore. I have a roommate, but this is oddly enough, I've said this before, this is the same room. Go back and watch my YouTube videos at the beginning of 2016. March 2016 to July 2016. This was the room I was making videos in. So, Rich the Savior. John, which state had the worst internet? Alabama. Alabama's internet is shit. There you go. It cut out all the time. I remember doing live shows when I lived there, and like I remember the internet would just cut out all the time. I hated it. Damn5271. Hey John, is there footage or bloopers of you, or footage or bloopers of yours that have never seen the light of day, like in your storage that maybe one day will be seen? Yeah, I actually used to have a hard drive that just crashed one day, and I had so much random shit on that. That's probably where they would have been, but I don't have it anymore. As far as like a lot of bloopers and outtakes, usually what I do when I shoot a video, and after that video is edited and done and uploaded, I get rid of all that extra footage. I probably shouldn't, but it's so much space that it clogs up, so I usually get rid of it. As far as like other bloopers, I don't know. There might be some stuff, but some of my bloopers are like, I wouldn't say they're funny. It's like me at 3 o'clock in the morning trying to shoot a review, and like I get so tired and annoyed that I keep saying the same thing over and over again, and I keep screwing it up, that I just start like saying crazy shit, and then I just go on this rampage of like screaming, and I'm like, I should have put that in the video, but I don't think people could handle it. So yeah, there might be some bloopers. I'll try to find something if there is. Occasionally, if there's something, I sometimes include small bloopers in some of my reviews. But yeah, the thing about the live shows is you're seeing all the bloopers. So take that how you will. Jay-Z, I can't read. That's how tired I'm getting. Let me take a drink of this. Okay, I'm ready to go. JC Zindel. Good job. It was 1997. I'll make a harder question next time. Laugh aloud. What are your top 5 favorite superhero movies? Well, thank you, man. Thanks for the super chats, man. Thank you, all of you guys. Like, you guys are too generous. I do appreciate it. Top 5 favorite superhero movies. Off the top of my head, if I just had to pick, I'm gonna go. I am allowed to do this. I'm allowed to do this. You can't take this away from me. I'm gonna combine the Dark Knight trilogy into one movie. Okay, you can't take that away from me. So the Dark Knight trilogy, V for Vendetta. I'm going to also combine Infinity War and Endgame into one movie. What do we got? We got 2 more. I'd have to think on the other 2 because I'm going to get really picky. Let me think on those. Name some superhero movies in the comment section. Let me know your top 5 favorite superhero movies. And combine the trilogies of The Dark Knight. Don't separate them. It'll just make life that much easier. Yeah, I'm trying to think of... I know there's a few other ones, but I'm trying to like give you a real good answer for it. I'm going to say maybe Spawn from 1997 and Daredevil 2003. I'm lying to you. Those are lies. Those are blatant lies. Oh, I'm sorry. I know which one I want to say. I like X-Men Days of Future Past could possibly be in there. And let's see. I like Man of Steel. I don't think it's in my top 5 though. Really enjoy it. I just don't think it's in my top 5. Kick-Ass could be in like a top 10. Thor Ragnarok could possibly be in there because I rewatch it all the time. So Logan, there's a damn good one. Yeah, Logan, definitely V for Vendetta. Fantastic Four stick is my number 1, definitely. Yes. Yeah. All right, let's keep going here. Lone Tiger. Do you think there should be a test audience for each movie before it's released to see if they go back and make changes? Would that increase the quality of movies? Well, typically there are test audiences for a lot of movies. Typically that is the case. And then they might change or tweak something. So that's usually the thing. But it doesn't baffle your brain, though? Like sometimes movies do have test audiences, but then they still release that terrible movie. And it's just like, how? How did it happen? So yeah, typically there is a test audience for movies. I believe there was a test audience for the new Malignant movie directed by James Wan, and people said it wasn't that good. So I'm hoping that turns out to be a good movie. Andre says, not to get personal, but I recently broke up with my ex. We dated for 5 years and even lived together. It's hard, so I was wondering, what advice can you give? You got to move on and you have to occupy your time. Find something that you like to do. Find a passion. Find a creative outlet. Find something that you've been neglecting, like me with YouTube, and focus on that. Get good at it. Also, the gym. The gym is a great place because you need to go build your body, man. And when you build your body, you build your mental state of well-being. And when you combine those two things, you will be an unstoppable force. And then keep swiping on Tinder. Have some fun. That's my advice to you. And just tell yourself it was all for a reason. All right, Big D Gang Gang, best name on YouTube. Thoughts on Sony trolling with No Way Home trailer? Are they trolling? Are they kind of trolling? I don't know. I just think everyone wants to see it. I don't remember them trolling about it, but I think they're just they have an ace up their sleeve. Why use it now? We don't need that trailer yet. We don't need it yet. I mean, we want it, but we don't need it. Lone Tiger, do you ever watch a movie and you thought was decent, but then were shocked to see negative reviews? What could be the reason, especially if it's a consistent theme? Happens to me a lot. Yeah, because we just talked about it. I will say Man of Steel. Like, it baffles me like that it was people hated it as much as they did. Like, I get maybe they wanted a more happy-go-lucky version of Man of Steel, but for me it was like the Superman movie I wanted to see, so that to me was a little bit surprising. Trying to think of another movie that critics hated. Like Kick-Ass wasn't that critically praised. I think Roger Ebert hated the movie, and I'm just like, I think he kind of like he missed it, like something went over his head with it. So things like that kind of baffle me, but then there's other movies that are just junk that people praise critically, and I'm like, okay, either who paid you or who are you afraid to offend? What has been your favorite house so far? Every time I got a house, I loved it at first and I grew to hate it. It's like something about houses are overwhelming to me. Sometimes just renting is so much easier and relaxing. You can just focus on what you want to focus on. Thoughts on Kick-Ass 2? It's enjoyable, but definitely did not have the same consistency or vibe or craftsmanship of the first movie. You should try Hinge. Maybe. I'm busy enough with the one I was busy enough with the ones I already had. What movie looks worse in 4K? Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Don't you ever buy it. Don't you ever fucking buy it. All right, let's keep going. You guys are killing it with these questions. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And FYI, I will do another live show. What's today? I will probably do another live show Sunday. So if you have something you want to save it till Sunday, I will definitely do another one Sunday. I'll probably do it slightly earlier than now. But then again, I always have more success with the live shows the later that I do them. So I don't know. All right, let's keep going. Night King 01. I think Fassbender is just taking a break. I mean, he's racing at Le Mans now, and so I guess he's just relaxing and doing what he wants. Oh no, I get it. Yeah, sometimes I see actors, and it's like these actors have millions upon millions of dollars. They clearly don't need to work anymore, and they're in like 87 great movies. It's like, why do 10 movies a year or 2 movies a year? Like, why? Like, just stop. Like, just enjoy your life. But yeah, so yeah, I get it. Rich the Savior. I'm trying to win a bet, John. Big dogs or small dogs? I prefer smaller dogs. I truly do. As long as if it's a small dog that is not afraid to like get dirty. Like, I had a dog that was like a small Pomeranian Chihuahua, but this dog was no wuss. It would jump in the stream. It would swim. It would kill small mice. Like, it was tough. But it was almost like a wolf in sheep's clothing, and that's what I liked. Better say big dogs, because I got a lot of flick bucks riding on this one. Oh, sorry. Yeah, big dogs. Yes. Edit that however you want. I just like smaller dogs because, like, big dogs, they're fun, they're cool, but to actually own one, like, they shed, they slobber all over the place, and I'm sort of like anal retentive germ freak. So, like, a smaller dog is just less like dirt tracking in and out of my house. And plus, like, a smaller dog probably won't eat your shoes. Bruce Cook says, John, do you own The Swarm? If you do, it's the worst movie you own. I do not own The Swarm, so I will look. I don't think I've seen it. I own The Room. No, I don't own The Room on Blu-ray. I used to. But I do. No. I own the new. You know what the worst movie I own? I own the new Terminator movie. The newest Terminator movie, whatever the fuck that piece of junk. I forget what it was called. Terminator Junk. That's what I call it. I own that. I would say that's the worst movie I own. I stand by that. Insert alias here. John, can you go touch the window and come back? For $2, I think I can. God, yeah. Do you want me to lay on the couch too? And you can draw me like one of your French girls, Jack? Let me answer this question real quick, and I'll go touch the window. Why? Do you think I'm in front of a green screen right now? Insert alias here. Oh, I already read that. Ryman 6000. Hey, John, I'm looking to get a new job working overnight. Any advice for me since you are a vampire after all? I'm not a vampire. I'm a vigilante of the night. I'm secretly a billionaire who fights crime at night. That's why you guys don't see a lot of videos from me, and that's why I disappear. That's why I'm busy all the time. I'm trying to save people's lives. None of that's true. What was the question? Oh, yeah, advice for, I don't know, if it's a job that you like or if you have downtime, I would say listen to some podcasts or just watch my videos. Occupy your time. I'm not sure what your job is, though, man, so it's hard to give you real advice. But if it's something you like, then that's great. I like nighttime jobs. It's just, something at nighttime just is more relaxing to me. I just come to life. Let me go touch my window now. Is that what you wanted? Because that's what you're going to get here. Things get crazy over here in the Flip Pick Live show. He gets up and touches windows. Let's keep going. Brock Lohman. Why did the duck go to prison? He was selling quack. Yes, I donated $5 for this joke. That is a damn good joke, Brock, and I'm going to use that in the future. So thank you for that, sir. Also, there's a great joke I want to share with you. What do you call Batman when he leaves church? Christian Bale. There you go. But I liked the duck joke, man. That was good. Claudia Rogujon. Watched the original X-Men movies recently. They do not hold up. Yeah, the first X-Men movie, I'm sorry. It's not that good. They don't hold up much more in my opinion. Good for the time, but superhero movies have evolved. Yeah, I definitely enjoy X-Men Days of Future Past, X-Men First Class. Those are my favorite X-Men movies, but the fact that Marvel now owns the rights to X-Men, that gets me truly excited. Also, Logan, I think, was a damn good X-Men-esque movie, but yeah, I agree. The first X-Men movie does not hold up. Dan5271, Johnny Movie Tester Flickster. I don't know. Well, thank you for that. Johnny Movie Tester Flickster. Thank you for that. Thank you. You know a fun story about my last name? My last name is, in fact, Flickinger. And for many years, people thought that was a made-up name because I talked about movies on the internet. Everyone thought. I remember I went to L.A. to do the movie versus movie. I hosted the Screen Junkies show, Movie versus Movie, and I remember 3 people asking me if that was my real last name. I'm like, yes. All right, the next one comes from Amaria M. How's it going, Amaria? By the way, I see the chats over here on the right. I've been trying to get to them, but I just haven't had time. Something about sleeping with socks on. Yeah, if you sleep with socks on, you're not human. Take those bitches off. All right, let's go to the... so Amory M says, John, you love small dogs. I'm trying to win big flick bucks. Yes, I love small dogs. Yes, I do. I like them. They're just you can just put them on the bed and cuddle with them and I don't know, hide them in obscene places in your house. I don't know. Why would you do that? I don't know. I like to play hide and seek with dogs. I'm lonely. Joey Volkert has become a member. Thanks, Joey. Yay! Joey's a member, everyone. Look forward to seeing you around, Joey. This side or the other. The next one comes from Yeaman John. Can you do the Predator chopper scene? Goddamn sexual Tyrannosaurus Rex. Goddamn. You want me to do the lines in the... No, can I just say get to the chopper? Do it now. I'm here. That's all I got. I am looking forward to the new Predator movie, but I don't have much faith in it. AJ Winslow. Hey, John. Have you seen the trailer for Lamb? I have not seen the trailer for Lamb. I have no clue what that is. Let me look it up. Hang on. By the way, thanks to all 442 of you watching right now. It means a lot. Lamb. Lamb is a 2021 internationally co-produced supernatural drama directed by Vladimir Johansson, who co-wrote the screenplay. Give me the fucking premise of the movie. Jesus. Half human, half baby. Ooh, is it something to do with, is this something to do with cloning? Please tell me this is something to do with cloning. That gets my juices flowing. Or no, is it just a lamb that has human traits? I don't know. Why do I want to see the movie about a cloned lamb? That's what I want to see it. Okay. Maybe I just made all that up in my head. Predator 2018 was decent for me, but could have been better. Predator, I don't know if you're joking, but I think Predator 2018 was one of the worst movies ever made. I have a pug named Tiffany from Bride of Chucky. That's funny. Good name, too. Good reference there. Yeah, I've never been a big fan of pugs. I just feel like they were bred to, like, not be able to breathe out of their nose. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't want a dog who does this all day. Or do you? I don't know. Lone Tiger. John, you were drinking iced coffee the other day, and I was so disappointed. You got to drink cold brew and never go back because it's the coffee made the right way. Look it up if you... Yeah, I just call cold brew iced coffee. Sorry. It's cold and I put ice in it, so I just call it iced coffee. But I do drink cold brew. I buy the Dunkin' Donuts cold brew, and I put ice cubes in it. A little bit of cream, and I drink it with a straw because I'm a prissy bitch. The next one comes from Max Nukenbauer. My favorite Ridley Scott movie is Black Hawk Down. Assume yours is Gladiator. Yeah, Black Hawk Down was okay. I never one of those Ridley Scott movies I've wanted to rewatch over and over, but Gladiator is by far my favorite Ridley Scott movie. I just love something about like epic time period. You go on this adventure. You're in ancient Rome. It's just like all these different elements I love. So yeah, I definitely would say Gladiator is my favorite Ridley Scott movie. Joshua Garrison, is your roommate a girl or a boy? Ooh, that's a good question. It's a girl, but somebody I know very well. Plus they're cleaner than I am, which is really beneficial. Joey Volkert. John, is there a movie that you have ever walked out of the theater because it was so bad? There's a shit ton of movies I've walked out of the theater because they were so bad. I'll give you a slew, or give you a list. I was going to say a slew, but I'll say a list. So one of them would be The Transporter Part 2. When he went upside down and flipped his car over to get the bomb... in Transporter 2, he had a bomb under his car. And it was, so he did a flip, a barrel roll, 500 feet in the air. The bomb, he knocked it off with the tip of a crane. And then we got up and left. I was like, this is junk. What's another movie I got up and left from? Oh, we got up and left from Matrix 2. When they started talking about like the Keymaster and all this other random shit, I looked at I went to see a movie with 3 of my friends. And I was like, can we just leave? Like, I can't watch this. This is not what I want to watch right now. And we all got up and left, and we just went and ate Taco Bell. What's another movie I got up and left from? There's so many, but you always block out the bad movies. I know I've had to have shared other movies I've left from on YouTube. God, I can't remember. Wow, I'm trying to remember some movies I got up and left from. Wow. Maybe a few will come to me, but those are two off the top of my head. No, Matrix 3 I fell asleep in. Matrix Revolutions I fell asleep in. So I didn't technically leave, but I just slept through like 40% of the movie. Okay, the next one comes from Claudia Rogajan. You ever seen Daddy's Home 2, the only movie I've ever wanted to walk out of, one of the worst comedies I've ever seen? Your thoughts on it? No. No, I don't think I've seen Daddy's Home 2. Or have I? Yes, I have seen Daddy's Home. Oh, God, I've seen Daddy's Home 2, yeah. Is it in Daddy's Home 2 where he... Isn't there a scene? It's a really shitty CG scene where Will Ferrell gets on the motorcycle, he goes up through the house and drives out the window. And it looks like a CG graphic like some 9-year-old kid made on his computer in like 14 minutes. Yeah, I did see that. That was awful, yeah. Okay, then God, Daddy's Home 2. Like how? Why? Derek 1999. Are you excited for Chris finally being able to make a movie? I am. I want to see it, man. I want to see what he can do with like a little small budget movie and make it his own. I am truly excited to see it. Claudia Rogajan. You ever we already talked about it. Okay. Oh, insert alias here. Why hasn't Arnold's accent changed at all? Why? The accent is what makes Arnold Arnold. He doesn't need to change it. The question is, though, you would think he's lived in America since the 1960s. You would think after 50 years of living in America and speaking for a living that you could at least like turn the accent off and pretend not to have an accent. Like I'm not Austrian, but I can do an Arnold impression, right? I can do it. He's not American. Well, he's American, but he has that heavy accent. But you think he could just like do an American accent, like he could just pretend for like 3 minutes. But no, he can't. It's bizarre to me. Lone Tiger. Where can I find those frozen chicken sandwiches from the grocery store like you bought back in the day? Can't find them anywhere, man. I don't know. The frozen food section at the grocery store, they're there. They're in like little cardboard boxes. I don't recommend them, but they're there. Just JDD24. I know you've mentioned you don't like the inclusion of Prince music in the first Keaton Batman film, but I love the part where Nicholson's Joker takes over the museum with the Prince music playing. I think it's phenomenal. Yes, in that one scene, it makes sense. Yes, I do agree. It's fitting to what's happening in that sequence. I do agree with that because they have the boombox. They start playing it. It takes place in the 80s. It makes sense that Prince music would be on that boombox for the Joker. I don't disagree with that. No. Bob, you're my number one guy. All right, let's go to the next one here. Doug Turnovan. Doug's question is, Ridley Scott is so underrated. Alien to Gladiator to Blade Runner and more. Definitely deserves more praise. Keep the shows coming. I think Scott gets the praise he rightfully deserves, but he's also made a lot of stuff in between that's not that good. Like, what was it? Body of Lies. He has the Last Duel coming out, which I'm excited to see. But he's made like a handful of questionable movies, which I'm like, what? Like the Robin Hood movie with Russell Crowe was like, what a waste of like money and Russell Crowe. And like, when I remember before the Robin Hood movie came out, like I'm all about time period movies. So when it comes to like Gladiator, yeah, give me more of that. But then Robin Hood was on its way, and I was like so excited and amped to see it because Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, starring Kevin Costner, is one of my favorite movies of all time. And when I watched Robin Hood, I was like, what? How did you fail on every aspect of this movie? Like, where's the guy who directed Gladiator? Like, it didn't even feel like it was the same thing. Yeaman John, What were the reactions to The Matrix when it was making its run through the theaters? Mind blowing, went to a rock concert, things like that. I'm confused. Okay, what were the reactions to The Matrix when it was making its way through theaters? Mind blowing. I'm a bit confused by the question, but I'll try to guess it. Are we talking about the first Matrix? Because I remember being in 5th grade when the first Matrix came out, and there was also something that came out at the same time, and it was some tragedy from a high school shooting called Columbine. So I remember those two things being intermingled in the media. And I remember everyone blaming the Matrix movie for that. And but anyway, I remember like everyone talking about the Matrix, and it's definitely one of those movies that lived up to its hype. I really enjoyed it. I didn't see it in theaters because I was in 5th grade, but I remember seeing it on maybe VHS or DVD or something. Might have been VHS. It might have been VHS, actually, the first time I saw The Matrix. Weirdest. That's how old I am. Yeah, I remember everyone. I remember like kids in school referencing it, and I was like, I want to see that movie, but I never got to until like VHS, and it came out like that following fall on VHS, I think, because it came out April of 1999, right? Right. Dan5271. Will we see you on the Schmodown again, and what title would you like to fight for? Not anytime soon. They asked me to come back to the Schmodown, and I sort of was just like, it's a one and done for me. I was like, I'll do it. I was like, I want to do it. I'll do it one time, but I just didn't want to like dedicate to doing it over and over again. I don't know. I will leave it up to other people who are more like dedicated to it. It was fun. I like talking about movies or doing movie trivia, but I was like, I'll do one of them, and I don't know. So probably not anytime soon. Claudia Rogajon, you're thinking of Daddy's Home 1 and 2 is a Christmas one. You said Daddy's Home, so I'm confused. There's a Christmas Daddy's Home? I'm not gonna watch it. So there's a Christmas called Daddy's Home. There's probably a video on Pornhub called Daddy's Home too. All right, Lone Tiger says favorite comfort food. Favorite comfort food. I mean, pizza used to be a good comfort food. I would say pizza, like barbecue chicken pizza. For some reason, that does comfort me. Or like ribs and fries. No, hot wings. Hot wings are a comfort food. That is a food. All right. I'm going to go with hot wings. Or maybe like mashed potatoes with cream corn. I know that sounds utterly bizarre, but I would also go with that. If I could take a bath in any substance, it would be mashed potatoes and cream corn. And don't you judge me for saying that. Let's just go to the next question before it gets weird. Jacob Boli. You should make a list of movies that you've been meaning to watch and then put it on something for us to vote on so you can see what we think you should watch. I'm not opposed to something like that. Maybe I should do something like that. That's a good idea. That is a good idea. Maybe I will, and then I can talk about it at least on a live stream or something, or make like a quick like reaction video and upload it. That's not a bad idea, Jacob. I might do that. Derek1999, what are your favorite Clint Eastwood movies? Probably The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I would say when it comes to old man Eastwood movies, definitely Gran Torino. Yeah, get off my lawn. Unforgiven's another 90s Clint Eastwood movie I really enjoy. Dirty Harry, the first one. I'm trying to think of another. One that's sort of underrated in my opinion is Heartbreak Ridge, which is a great Eastwood movie from the 80s. What else is there? Yeah, there's always like one or two that I always forget exist, but I would just go with those. If I had to pick one for a Clint Eastwood performance, it's definitely Gran Torino. That's the most Clint Eastwood movie ever made. Will you answer questions while bathing in cream corn? Yes, maybe one day. That'll be a special perk on Patreon at one point. And somebody said, and Amory M says she'll barf if I do that. Well, that's unfortunate. The next one comes from Claudia Rogajan. Look up old interviews of Mel Gibson. His Australian accent went away after like 1993, so Arnold is a mystery. Yeah, well, some actors purposely get rid of the accents because they don't want to confuse audiences when they have a new movie coming out. Some actors purposely do that in interviews just to like not throw audiences off. Gibson, though, Gibson actually was born in New York or somewhere in the East Coast and moved to Australia and then moved back to America, I believe. But yeah, Gibson's one of those actors who can truly do a great, like, he's very, his accents are on par. Like, he always does a really good accent. Derek 1999. Did you like the film I'm Thinking of Ending Things? It kind of scared me when I watched it at night. I have not seen I'm Thinking of Ending Things, but I've been there. I've probably said that to myself a few times. I'm joking. Claudia Rojan, I meant to say you're thinking of Daddy's Home 1. Okay, with the motorcycle. Is that the first movie? Okay. Well, I remember Daddy's Home 2. I did see Daddy's Home 2, where they stay at a lounge. Yeah, they stay at that lodge. And the one girl keeps turning the heat up too high. Right? Yes, that's what I remember. That's all I remember from that abomination. Matthew says, how did you stay so thin and eat lots of food? I don't eat that. Right now, I don't eat that much food. And even when are you referring to? Like, I don't usually eat a lot of food. That's the weird thing. Like today, you know what I've eaten today? I've eaten a hamburger and some fries. That's what I've in 13 hours, that's what I've eaten. So I just don't eat a lot. I eat like 1 or 2 meals a day. And that seems like to be a good, like when you eat 3 meals, your body's just working twice as hard to digest all of that stuff. So I think 2 good meals a day is good. Maybe like a small snack in between. So that's usually what I've done. I just don't overeat. I never have. Just JDD24. Remember when I asked you about Honeymoon in Vegas with Nick Cage? It wasn't on any streaming service originally, but it's on HBO Max now. If you never get a chance to see it, you will not regret it. Ooh, thank you for telling me that. You and a few other people told me to watch that, and I've been meaning to watch it. And thank you for telling me. I'm going to watch that today. I will watch that tonight. I will watch that tonight. How's that? It's on HBO Max? Okay, good. I needed a good movie to watch. And Nicolas Cage, all the better. Thank you for that. You used to look like an alien. Yeah, when I used to look like an alien, I think I was just depressed see, I'm naturally skinny. It comes from my mom's genetics. So when I was like a skinny alien for the first like 3 or 4 years on YouTube, I had not done anything physical since like high school. So all my muscle just like depleted and disappeared. I was just like malnourished in a way. I still ate, but I just like muscle atrophy or something. And I just got skinny. Like that's the reason I started working out is like, if I don't work out, my head stays the same size, but my body shrivels up. It's not a good look. It's really not. It's terrifying. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to answer like the next set of questions that's left right now. So if you guys are watching right now, please don't post any more questions. From this point on, I will answer as many questions as I possibly can. What I'm going to do is take a quick break, like a quick 2-minute break. I'm going to get something to drink. I'm going to come back and answer all the questions you guys get in during the break. So as soon as that break's over, please do not ask any more questions. But with all that said, I'm going to come back and answer all the questions left during the break. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back after these quick messages from our sponsors, and we don't actually have any sponsors. You guys are the sponsors of the live show, so thank you for that. But as a wise man once said, he said something. Hang on. Oh, I'll be back. And here we go. Okay, guys, thank you for joining me. Quick break. I had to go pee, I'm not going to lie. Okay. Or what I was going to do is I was actually going to start wearing diapers during the live streams. And, but maybe I still will. I don't know. I don't know. All right. Let's see. The next question comes from Austin Rash. Hey, John, have you seen The Raid? Some of the best action I've ever seen, and it's an underrated horror movie. And what's an underrated horror movie? I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of an underrated horror movie. All the horror movies I like are generally like known and agreed upon. I think an underrated horror movie is The Hills Have Eyes. I truly do. It's a remake, but a great remake. But I think it's underrated. The Raid, yeah, damn good movie. If only this movie could have been sort of like The Raid, right? Imagine like Mortal Kombat meets The Raid. That's what I was hoping for. Didn't quite get it. Sony Chavez, are you going to make a cameo in Chris Stuckman's new movie? No, I'm not. I think he wants real actors, so probably not. Doug Tarnovan, I watched Dances with Wolves recently. So good. Yeah, I've seen it once or twice. I like it. It's a really good movie. But when it comes to like Kevin Costner movies from the early 90s, I'd rather watch Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves or Waterworld. Both critically not as acclaimed as Dances with Wolves, but I enjoy them more. Dave says, will you consider doing a live stream movie review with other YouTubers in the near future? A live stream movie review. I mean, with other YouTubers, yeah. I think my pal Cosplay Chris, if you guys haven't watched him, he's a really cool guy. He lives in Australia, does awesome stuff. Me and him are going to do a some kind of, I don't know if it's a live stream or some kind of collab talking about movies in the next week or two. So kind of, sort of what you just asked. Derek 1999. I'm thinking of Ending Things. It's directed by Charlie Kaufman. It's a Netflix original. It's about 3 hours long. Definitely worth a watch. Yeah, I've heard good things about it. I have not got a chance to watch it yet. Mista 47. What do you think of the Godfather trilogy? I think the first Godfather film is it definitely set the tone and precedence for future mafia movies. Every cliche that mafia movies utilize was taken from The Godfather. I think the second one is a better movie in my opinion. The first Godfather movie, I'm not going to lie to you, is a struggle to get through. Like, it's slow, but it's almost slow for the sake of being slow. The third one I think is a really bad movie. I remember the director cast his daughter to be in a role, and it was just like she couldn't act. So the second one was always like my preference, but it's been so long since I've sat down and watched it. I remember watching it years and years ago. I would like to revisit it, but it's definitely, when it comes to like mafia movies, I'd much rather watch Casino or Goodfellas. Just my personal preference. Just JDD24. Is there a movie ending you didn't like originally but came to like it more? I didn't like the ending of Gone Girl originally, but when I watched it a second time, I liked the ending better. By the way, it's my personal favorite Fincher film. Interesting. Yeah, the ending of Gone Girl, I get it though. Like, I get the ending, but at the same time, it's like, dude, what does it take for you not to like stay here? You know what I mean? But then again, I've seen dudes in marriages that are about the same and they still stick around. So I guess that's the message. But an ending to a movie I didn't originally like. I did not originally like the ending to The Dark Knight Rises. I think it ruined itself. I get why Michael Caine goes and gets his bloody Franker drink, or what's it called, a bloody something, and he sees Bruce Wayne sitting over there, one of the most well-known billionaire playboys in existence, is sitting at some cafe in Paris, like someone's not going to recognize him. That to me was either like a dream sequence from Michael Caine, because in my heart, Batman sacrificed himself and died when that bomb blew up. That was the ending. So to tack in that like imaginary thing, or if that was a real thing where Michael Caine actually did visually see Bruce Wayne, which I think it was just in his head, which I hope it was, that that ruined it for me. I think we should just had a clear-cut ending of Batman sacrificed himself and died. So much more impact. But the very ending of the movie where Joseph Gordon-Levitt essentially becomes like Nightwing / Robin, I did like that. It sort of gave you hope for Gotham still having like a vigilante to protect them. But I'm sure there's way better endings that disappointed me than that. That was just the biggest one I could think of. All right, the next one. Rich the Savior. Who would change the diapers, John? Tiny Todd or Stuckman? Hopefully Stuckman, hopefully. But I'm hoping like I'll have kids by then. They can change the diapers one day. That's the only reason to have kids, so they can change your diapers when they get older. The next one comes from... or you could change my diaper, Rich. I feel confident. I trust you. Just as long as you put a little baby powder on there. Not too much, just enough. 3 ice cubes, no more, no less. Lone Tiger. The reason I'm moving to the Northeast is because the territory I sell into is there. And I said I love the region in general. I know it's expensive, but the quality of life and the film locations will be worth it, man, as long as I make decent money. Well, yeah, man, move where you gotta go. I mean, you're gonna have nice winters. If you like the snow, that's something to look forward to. I'm tired of the snow. I think it's the biggest detriment of living in the North is like the snow. You know, if it wasn't for that, it would be perfect. Claudia Rogujon. The captain from the raid also played Sub-Zero now. Yes, you're right. Yes. Yes, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Well, why couldn't they just have the same fighting choreography? You know, like that's all I'm asking for. Gino Rodriguez. Hey, John. Would you rather be strapped to a chair and watch all of the movies you walked out of or go back to your old malnourished self? Probably watch all the movies I walked out of. Because going back to my malnourished self, it took so long to correct that I don't know if I have the dedication to give it. I can watch shitty movies all day. If I can just lay there and stare at it, that sounds so much easier than going to the gym for 6 years. Claudia Rogujon. It's a real thing at the end of The Dark Knight Rises because Selina Kyle is there and Alfred never met Selina, so he couldn't imagine her. I guess you're right. That is one point to be taken, but then that just ruins everything. That ruins the sacrifice, which ruins the movie, which ruins the heart, which ruins everything I wanted. That's unfortunate. But actually... Alfred did meet Selina Kyle. That's a lie. He met her in the beginning of the movie when she's one of the servers at that opening party where he says, take it up to the room and don't enter. He says that. He did meet Selina Kyle. So that theory goes out the window, young man. Claudia Rogujon says, Selina is also wearing the pearls that were missing. Ooh, yeah, but they were a gift. Yeah. She's good, but it's closing in on her. All right. The next one. Claudio says, also, you missed one of my super chats. I just answered all 3 of them. I'll scroll back in a second and read it. I'll double check. Just JDD24. I know you never got into Dexter, but there's an episode in the first season where we find out he once used Patrick Bateman as an alias. I feel like it'd be worth it to go back to the show just for that. Also because it's a really good show. Yeah, I just would rather watch a movie that's more conclusive about a sociopathic serial killer like American Psycho. I might watch the new season, though. I might watch the new season of Dexter. And if that sells me, I'll go back and watch the previous installments. Sugarhers. Have you watched Climax yet? Trust me, watch it. I have not watched Climax yet. What's the premise of Climax? I'm looking back. I'm going back and looking for your early question that I supposedly missed, and I don't see it on here, man. Oh, here you go. Sorry. Claudio Rogujon says, Heard Jungle Cruise is like The Mummy 1999. True. Yeah, that was my initial thing I said in my reaction review. They clearly took plot points from The Mummy 1999. Like the main actress, Emily Blunt, she almost is like a scholar lady in the 1920s who has like a prissy brother who's like very bougie, and they find a guy rough around the edges to take them to find like this secret thing in the middle of nowhere. It's the same thing. Yeah, more or less, yes. Okay, the next one. I'm going to answer just a few more questions, guys, so no more questions because I don't want to miss them. Just JDD24 says, I know you never... Oh, I already read that. I'm silly. Okay, here's the last question. I'm going to try to make this the last question. I might answer some... and by the way, if you guys are YouTube members, chime in over on the chat. I'll try to hit as many of your questions as well. I've been trying to get to the normal chat in between all of the super chats. I know that's one complaint, and trust me, I try my best to get to all of them. Lone Tiger says, thanks for the streams, man. Enjoyed every minute while I was prepping for my presentation tomorrow. Well, good luck with that. I'm going to go get some sleep and go get a coffee at sunrise. Hope you have a great night. Well, you too, man. Good luck on your presentation. Hope it goes well. All right. This one comes from... Yeah, Rich the Savior says, John, it's self-explanatory. It's called Climax. That was my original thoughts, but I could also see like a crazy like South Korean action movie being called Climax with guns and climaxes. Claudia Roger John says, X-Men not holding up. Explain your thoughts. The first X-Men movie, just from a technical standpoint, more or less, it's sort of underwhelming, and I get it. The movie had a limited budget for what it had to achieve, but when you watch the ending climax, speaking of climaxes, when you watch that final sequence in X-Men, the first one, and Wolverine like grabs onto the Statue of Liberty with his like shitty claws and does like a 360 around it, it just feels really off. It just feels really off. So in my opinion, it did not age well. The movie guy says, missed my super chat too. Damn it, how? All right, movie guy, I'm going to scroll down. How long ago was it? Sometimes the super chats get delayed on here, so I do my best to find them. Movie guy, can you type your question one more time in the normal chat? That way I can just read it. Thoughts on Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Okay, here's my thing with that movie. It's a movie, it's sort of like a love story about two people who I find highly unlikable, and I don't care if they fall in love, and I don't care about anything that happens to them. I know that's so unpopular. I know that's such an unpopular opinion, but when I see two people who just should not be together and I see a movie focusing on that, I'm just like, I don't care. I just don't resonate with either person in this film. Now, I get the concept. I get like how once she left him, he can't take it and he wants to erase those memories. But at the same time, I'm just like, she was dime a dozen, man. You can do better, Jim Carrey. Just move on. Yeah, movie guy. Where's this question again? Oh, there it is. What's the most what the F movie you've ever saw? That's a good question. Okay, the movie guy. Well, there's some what the F movies, but there's some good what the F movies. So if I had to pick a good what the F movie, I'm probably going to go with Old Boy, the South Korean Old Boy, where it just goes for it. It's super well made. Enjoy the movie. The twist, the ending is something not many Hollywood studio films would probably do. So I would say that was one movie where I was like, that blew me away, but was also fulfilling at the same time. So if I had to pick one, maybe that. I know there's probably a few other like shocking what the F moment, like in the first Don't Breathe movie with the turkey baster thing. I'm like, that's crazy, but like that's just like one segment in a movie. Claudia Rojan, X-Men not holding. I already answered that. Tyler Durden or Travis Bickle? Probably Travis Bickle. Because Tyler Durden's not even a real dude. So, I mean, you got to go with Travis Bickle. Plus, I just like when he's driving around in his taxi cab at night, like, and you hear his internal dialogue narration. I love that. Like, that's me. That's in my head every time I drive around at night. Like, I'm just thinking the same things. The streets are dirty. The filth, the trash, the whores. It's all the same. All I do is drive. I don't care where I go. I'll pick up anyone. Like, I just love that. Yeah, Cannibal Holocaust. Like, it's a crazy what the F movie, but, like, I don't consider it a good movie, so like that's why I don't put it on my list there. John, can we sleep together tonight? I mean, yeah, man, sure, why not? All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up the live show here. I think I'm really hungry. I think I need to go eat. I've eaten once today, like I already said. But thanks to all 420 of you watching right now. It does mean a lot. Thank you guys for that. Fight Club is one of Fincher's worst movies. I'm going to disagree with you just simply because of Bob's bitch tits. I don't think that's one of Fincher's worst movies. I would say Fincher has a few other films that are by far worse than Fight Club. Fight Club is actually one of my favorite Fincher films. I would say that, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and Seven are my 3 top Fincher flicks. Thoughts on Suicide Squad? I have not seen the new Suicide Squad. I haven't seen it yet. I'll see it Tuesday. We live in a weird time now where, like, people ask me my thoughts on movies a week before they come out. It's like, sometimes I don't get press. I live in Fort Wayne now. My press screenings are 3 hours away, so it has to be a movie I need to see. So, yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Siberian Film is also Irreversible is a what the F movie. That's pretty graphic. Thanks, Amaray M, for joining. We love you, John. Well, thanks. I love you, too. Favorite horror movie? I've answered that. Everyone should watch Honeymoon in Vegas. Yeah, I'm going to go watch Honeymoon in Vegas right after this live stream. And we have one last question from Bobby Stefan. Thoughts on films from Asylum, Sharknado? I don't watch those. Those aren't real movies. Those are just like memes that go on for 90 minutes. Like, it's funny to make fun of or, like, use a GIF from Sharknado on Twitter or something. But, like, to actually sit down and watch those movies, I think they're junk. They're just junk. So those are my thoughts. Now, would I star in one? Absolutely. John, will you do another live stream this week? I will do another live stream by Sunday. So worst case, I will do a live stream Sunday evening. So look out for that, guys. I will announce it on Twitter. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys are YouTube members and you guys support the Patreon perk, go to the community tab on my channel to listen to that. Also, if you guys are Patreon supporters, go to Patreon right now. There's a audio version and there's a video version of the new podcast this week. So go check that out. We answer tons of questions over there and talk about all the new movies that have come out in the last couple of weeks. But as always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, hanging out, the support. I can't thank you guys enough. You guys are awesome. Stay safe. Have a good night. And look out for a Jungle Cruise review/reaction out of the theater tomorrow. I'll put it up like tomorrow morning or something. So stay safe, guys, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.